saw you dancing like heavy smoke. Have you faced?
Yes, guys. I don't know what's going on there. Big up, guys. We'll be right back. Let's go.
So you dancing like heavy smoke. Have you fixed that treasured heart that's all broke? Here is a tape, follow me, give this a meaning. Do you wanna feel the rush when somebody is listening? Heaven is getting closer. This will be the end of treason as we know it. This will be the death of anger, cause we won't show it. Here is a tape, follow me, give this a meaning. Do you wanna feel the rush when somebody's listening? Heaven is getting closer. There's no time to lose, the world is closing in, and we're still here. We are, so what's the rush? Feeling like a dream. Could we be crying for tonight? We lost but never found. Fear is not around.
Yes, guys. Welcome in. Thank you very much for joining me and James again for episode 2 of the Red Galacticos podcast, man. I hope everyone is doing well. Yeah, this is my first video for like almost 6 days. As you guys know, I've been pretty unwell. The wife's been pretty unwell. The kids have been unwell. But yeah, apart from me absolutely sweating at the moment, a little tickle in my throat still, I'm actually a lot better than I was. So I'm looking forward to talking some football now instead of watching the boring international stuff. Man.
You've been missed by everyone.
It's been horrible, man. I hate being ill, man. I don't usually get ill.
Oh no, mate, it's nasty.
The older I get, the worse it's getting. You know, it's a bitch. It's a bitch. It really is, man.
Oh mate, but, honestly. Do you know what? I'm still what you consider prime years, and I'm getting more sick than I'd like to as well, lad. So, God knows what's going to be in store for me in 5 to 10 years. We'll enjoy it while it lasts.
How are you doing anyway, man?
Again, mate, glad to be back on the show. Glad to be back talking to yourself as well. I'm getting loads of text messages from people in work for some reason at this time of the night, and I can't. What's this? Oh yeah, never mind. Do you know what, lad? Do you know when you just like so like chocker in your own head? Like that's probably the day that I've had so far. I'm just chocker, but I'm looking forward to doing this show. It'll be a nice way to switch off for the night. Talk about some things. Me and you tend to have good discourse around the topics of Liverpool Football Club, and there's some interesting things to talk about. Big up the chat as well as always. Smash a like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And let's talk about some Liverpool Football Club, mate. Football's back.
Definitely.
Football.
That's what's this? What's this news? Exclusive. We understand PSG president Nasser Al Khalifi has made inquiries on the current ownership situation at Spurs.
I just saw that on Indy Kayla's page.
A minority stake at Spurs. Oh, a minority stake. So it's a bit like Ineos saying it with the Glazers and that sort of stuff. Yeah, two owners at one club don't work, man.
No, and you can't expect to get the PSG level treatment at Spurs if they're minority. No. It would only be if they become majority.
And the thing is, they'd have to let go of PSG because they can't be in the Champions League together, can they? So we're both owning it.
Yeah. So, but I'm sure they'll somehow benefit them in some way. But again, do you know what? What I've realised, especially with PSR, it doesn't matter what owners you have nowadays. It's all about how they run the football club, and the PSR restrictions are there to make sure they don't make decisions. I
love this because my kids made me this.
That's lovely. That's really nice. Yeah,
I've never got anywhere to put it. I really need to put it on the wall or something. But yeah, just
get it nailed, not nailed in, but like stuck to the wall. No, that's really cool. People are saying that I'm out of sync again. So last time it seemed to work when I just came out and in. So I'll just do that again. Go on, mate. Go
on. See the inside training. Yeah, man. Yeah, inside training. Inside training was good because it was only a few players on the inside training. Because it was only quite a few players because people were still coming back and you saw some of the youth team. Frimpong looked sharp as well. Going to be ready for this week by the look of it. Isaac, of course. We're going to talk about Isaac later, looking sharp in training.
Is that better? Am I insane?
Yeah, I thought you was all right. I thought you was all right before, to be fair.
It happens a couple of times last week. It was just chat. Just keep me on top of it. If it happens, it usually works if we go in and out. So no major biggie.
I ever hate turtles. Tortoises.
I hate turtles.
Big up ninja.
I don't know what that means. By the way, Jay, did you see the Liverpool women's team video today quoting my thing?
Is that what they said? Well, what did they say?
So the Liverpool women's team, on I think it was on their Instagram or someone reposted it, but one of the players was quoting my man. I think it was a lot of people were tagging me in it. To be fair, I was a bit like, go on, we're making one of the teams. You know what I mean?
Who was celebrity? Who was celebrity?
There's a video of Shimmercast as well, referencing that video to Salah as well. There's a video of
there you go.
Airport. Yeah.
Free season tickets will be there soon, James.
We'll get there. I'll take a women's game free season ticket.
Definitely.
Do you know how many people would love a women's season ticket just to be at Anfield alone? Like even if they weren't fans of women's football, they'd still just want to go for the.
Oh yeah, they could do. They could get you interviewing the players after the game and that.
I'd be all aboard, mate. I'd be all aboard. Content is content. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. There's some fine honeys there as well.
Jamie, you can't do that to our women's footballers. They're there to win.
I would say Allison and Dominic Szoboszlai are good-looking guys. You know
oh my God!
Keep it equal.
No, right, we're getting into the football. Right? I'm not into the women's football. Right? Not a chance. Not a chance.
Before I get into Konate,
big up the ladies in Liverpool Reds.
Every single time. Before we get into the Konate talk, I just want to talk about this. I saw earlier on this evening, later on Twitter, just floating around about FSG selling the Pittsburgh Penguins. Have you seen that?
No. Is that their hockey team?
Yeah, apparently for 1.3 or 1.5 billion. Anyone in the chat, if you know a bit more in this than I do, I only saw it floating around on social media. That's what I was going to say. Is it?
Nice to know there's more in the couch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It looks like. So if it is the case, I said it because apparently they think they've made market value on the Pittsburgh Penguins, and
but they wouldn't sell if they didn't, would they?
So they feel like it's good enough to sell right now for like 1.5 billion or something like that. I don't know if this is the case. You know, they're letting go of another sports partnership that they heavily invested in. They've not really, since I've known FSG, I don't think they've sold any franchises.
Since they've taken over us.
Have they sold the franchises?
I don't think anything to this level. I don't think, what did you say, 1.5 billion?
I think so. I think so.
I'd be surprised if it was to this level, that's for sure. But no, in terms of selling anything, I couldn't tell you. But to this level, I don't think so.
Let me just have a look. I want to make sure this is right.
Do you know what's mad? I am in the belief that Boston Sox fans, whatever they're called, I think they're still fuming about the current state of that club, aren't they? Aren't they still upset? I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
I think Liverpool fan base is the only one not upset with FSG ownership so far.
Do you know what though? Do you know if anyone who was touting FSG a couple of years ago, they had references, mate? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They had other fan bases to look towards and go like, no, because they had a bit of a Ratcliffe reputation in a way, didn't they? Like, just they're underachieving but they still had a portion of the fan base, but I would say the majority was still against FSG until recently.
So I'm reading here from the Liverpool Echo that if FSG sell the Penguins, it's apparently 1.75 billion, right? Which is 1.3 billion.
7.5?
Yeah, so that makes it 1.3 billion English pounds.
That'll probably confirm the Getafe deal, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it doubles. So FSG will make 665 million from selling. So they've made they've almost made 700 million just from selling the Pittsburgh Penguins. So
they probably just thought that's the furthest they can take them, haven't they?
Yeah, and they're going to just stick all that into Liverpool's next summer's transfer window. So
you take those, baby boy.
It's all good to me.
You take those.
I said this last year. I think that FSG started to look at Liverpool as their most profitable, money making.
It is, isn't it?
Franchise now. Yeah, and
with the new TV rights deals and stuff that's being talked about as well, I think that they understand that the revenue is only going to continue to go up with Liverpool.
Yeah,
but fair play for it. You know what I mean? They've done really well with us as an asset, and I have said for years it would probably make more sense to just hone in on us, because you could make us the biggest club in the world, and you're not going to make more money in any other sport than football if you're the biggest and the best at it. You know what I mean? So no, it's good times, mate. It's good times to be a Liverpool fan, and it's nice to hear that they are still active in their portfolio and trying to improve it and letting certain things go. I'm now all aboard with it, with the FSG success. People say it's not my money, but I think of it as it is. Like, I think if I was in that role, so like when I'm talking about what lineup I would choose, I'm choosing as if I was the manager, and I do the same if I'm the board. Like, would I want to spend the money in a certain way? It's why I said I wouldn't have spent 50 million on Mark Guehi. Do you know what I mean? Because I was just like, you don't do that for a player with a year left. Even though, but then you get the arguments like, but it's not your money, James. It's like, we should think of it like it is, though. So when FSG are making money,
well, it's our money because we invest into the football club.
Exactly, and the better they're doing economically,
it's like when we tell. It's like when you tell, like, anyone, like a police officer or anything like that, we pay your wages, sort of thing, ain't it? It's like it's almost like that because you're investing into your football club, aren't you? With merchandise and kits and tickets and
spot on.
So a little bit, you can have a say. You know what? Maybe it is my money because I've invested so many thousands into this. So yeah, why not, man? Have that say. Have that say. But yeah, it's interesting to see what they do there. It's apparently a majority share. So it's like, I think they still hold maybe a little percentage of the football club, of the ice hockey team. But yeah, I'm not. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I think the Red Sox is their baby. That's obviously their baby, and they probably would never sell that. But the amount of money they spent on Liverpool this summer, I can only see it happening next summer as well. So it's an interesting look. I have to keep an eye on that situation there because I think they still want another team, don't they? Another football side as well. They want that. They want that partnership with another team that they can do what Chelsea's are doing and the cities of the world. And
I'd love it to be in Spain. I'd love it to be Getafe or something like that. If it was going to happen, I'm not fully for it, to be fair, but if it was to happen, because that's where football's going, isn't it?
Yeah.
And go for it.
Yeah, definitely.
I just wouldn't like it if I was Getafe.
No. You know
what I mean? Because you kind of are being used. But then you could also argue, would Strasbourg have as much hype around them if it weren't for the connections they've got? So it's benefited them. And it probably will. I haven't tracked Getafe's recent success over the years, but I'd imagine that they'll probably do better with FSG. That's just a complete assumption.
Well, good Liverpool young youth players players that
exactly.
Liverpool, because what they do what the other teams are doing. They go and buy attractive young footballers
Yeah.
that they think will be the next big thing or
Yeah.
market value. Take them to Konate. They play
Yeah.
out there, make money, and if they become a player, they come back to Liverpool. It benefits Liverpool. If they don't,
Yeah.
they get sold and they
You can
make money
talk
off
to
them.
these young players and say,
So,
you're
yeah.
going to be a part of our portfolio, but you will
Yeah.
be getting minutes as well in
Yeah.
a top league with a top team and a good coach. And that's what you'd like, whatever their second club, wherever that second club will be, you'd like that to be the sort of presentation, because that's why Chelsea are able to sort of, work it with all their players. And, I'd love to know the intricacies behind the Ben Chilwell deal, do you know what I mean? Just because I wondered if that was just easier getting him off the books and benefits them in Chelsea, but then obviously Strasbourg get themselves a very, very experienced Premier League. Like when he was at the top of his game, he was a good player. That's a good signing.
Pushing for one of the better left backs, weren't he? When he was
If he can stay fit or whatever games he is fit, he's going to be a huge addition to them. So the point is that like it can benefit, like in future, not Shimakash particularly, because obviously he had demands, he had teams in for him. Oh my goodness, both my phone. Right, there we go. Sorted. What's it called? Yeah, mate. Like, if you can provide that to a young player who's coming through, and you just basically say to them, like, listen, you want to play in sunny Spain? We've got a club there, sort of thing, and then you can come to one of the best clubs, if not the best club at the time in the world, in Liverpool Football Club, and make an impact here. It just does make sense in terms of where football's going. It's just. A couple of years ago, I'd have definitely put a stand against this, but again, when it's other teams doing it and you're seeing it's working, and yeah, but I wouldn't like it if I was Getafe, though. Definitely
not. No, definitely not. Right, Konate. So this Konate chat,
you start. I'll come in a sec. 1 minute.
So this Konate chat has been. Through the international break, it's been very interesting, and I've seen it on social media. People talking about it on Twitter, especially. I've seen people on YouTube talking about it. I've seen the great guys at Coppish talking about it. Sam's been talking about it. I've seen K-Mac talking about it. I see great YouTube Liverpool content creators talking about this Konate situation with his contract, and it's just not his contract. People were talking about how good Ibu Konate actually is as a footballer, and I've made some comments about Ibu Konate during the national break on Twitter and stuff like that. It's not gone down too well. It's actually gone down like a lead balloon. But so here's my take on Ibu as a footballer before we get into all this contract stuff, what's going to happen with him. And this is just my take on Ibu. Yeah. And football debate is always someone who's... So when we debate football and talk about football, someone's always going to be pissed off with someone's opinion. It's just the way football opinions are, guys. So, we're not all right and we're not all wrong. But with Ibu Konate, right, I don't believe he's world class, right? This is just my opinion. I don't believe Konate is a world class centre back at this moment in time. But I do think he's a top player. And I said this on Twitter, and a couple of people messaged me about this and said, how can you be a top player but not world class? Well, I think world class are elite level footballers that are special in their position. And, a world class footballer to me is somebody that you desperately can't do without in a football team, that changes the landscape, that changes the position, that changes everything about football in the position that they play in. You look at world-class players in the past and how we hold them to such a high standard. As it don't matter if it's like a Zidane or a Pavel Nedved or a Thierry Henry or a Messi, an R9 or Ronaldo, the Buffons of this world, the Neuers, these legendary players that are world-class in their position. Virgil van Dijk, who will always be remembered for years and years to come because he's a world-class footballer and a world-class centre-back that people argue about is maybe one of the best centre-backs of all time, and people argue about that right now. People talk about that from different generations. They're going, yeah, maybe Virgil could play in every generation of football. And when I look at Konate right now, I don't think Konate is a world-class footballer. But again, I think he's a top player. And I know we have a discourse in football, especially in the fandom, where we're like, oh, how can he not be a world-class player? How can you not rate him being a world-class player? I think he's a top player. I just don't think he's a world-class player at this moment in time. He's still a young guy as well. He's still maturing. He's not reached his peak as a footballer yet. And in 3 years' time, could he turn into a world-class centre-back that the world, like one of the best around? Yeah, he's got every chance to be because he's a top player. But right now, for me, he's not. He's got a few errors to his game that I still think he needs to polish up on. But he's a top talent. And I know people will say, hey, he's top 5 centre-backs in the world. Maybe he is. But does that mean right now that he's world-class? For me, no. I think there's only 2 world-class centre-backs in the world right now, in my personal opinion, and that's Bastoni and Van Dijk. You know, I don't think there's any other world-class centre-backs. I think Gabriel and Saliba are top centre-backs. Like Konate is a top centre-back, but I don't think they're world-class.
Yeah,
you know,
it's all about how
too much.
You're just making the point what I was about to say. It depends how loosely you throw around the term world class, isn't it? And if you use it for the top 10 centre backs in the world, then people are going to disagree with you. But if you use it for like what you said, 2 or 3 in the best position, maybe it could be 10 if they're all genuinely world class. But maybe you're saying it's an either way, they're just not. The top ones aren't world class. And I agree. I think if you look at the best centre backs in the world, especially the attainable ones, there's always a deficiency of some sort. Even Saliba, you know, he's talked about as the Rolls Royce of the next generation, the successor to Virgil. And I see way more holes in his game than what I do in Virgil's. And then I get told, but look where he is in comparison to where Virgil was. It's like, yes, circumstances was different. But Virgil has always shown he could be this level. He just wasn't quite given the platform, particularly. For me, I look at it as, I do think Konate is world class, but that's only because my criteria of world class is probably different to yours, Jay. Like,
that's the thing.
That's all. That's all it is. But I'm not going to harp on your point about him not being it because we both still think he's really good. Do I think he's irreplaceable? Absolutely not. And if he's asking for a certain wage that we deem unfair market value, fine. Like, move on. I liked Paul Joyce's article the other week. I'm sure you've seen it, Jay. But I liked, what should I say, what I liked about it was the language that was used, because I am of the belief that when Paul Joyce speaks, you do try and listen to him and see what the club's trying to tell you. And the part particularly where he was speaking about how Liverpool won't beg for anybody to stay, that is club wording, in my opinion. And I think that wording is a stance that, 1, we won't beg anyone to stay. 2, this is just a personal belief of mine. I don't think this happens again. I think this is going to be the final free exit that we see for quite a while. And that's because I think if Edwards was brought in sooner, the chances of losing both Trent and Ibu, maybe we would have still lost one of them. We could have even still lost 2. But I think if Edwards was brought in back a little bit earlier, maybe a season earlier, I don't think we lose both of them for free. That's just my opinion. But again, I don't foresee this being an issue going forward. But, you know, what one hurts more, Trent or Ibu? Absolutely Trent by a mile. Trent was a world-class footballer at the very least, because that's what you're saying there, Jay, top player, but what does he bring that's like special in one area? Okay, he has really good physical attributes, but even they go to his disadvantage at sometimes. So, you know, whereas Trent, he could just do stuff no one else in the world in that position could do. Do you know what I mean? So there was always an upside to the sometimes negative aspect to Trent's game. That's why, for me, it's not going to be like... And also, Konate's never claimed to be Liverpool through and through. So from a hostility point of view, a nervous point of view about how do we fill that position, I think we do it quite easily. And without trying to skip topics, I think we do it with Mark Guehi. I think Mark Guehi will be an upgrade. And the thing that slowly... I'm not saying right now, if Konate's the 5th best centre-back in the world, I'm not putting Guehi 4th. Do you know what I mean? Like, Konate in the pecking order right now is above Guehi. But the way I've seen Guehi step up for Palace in an FA Cup final where the occasion was massive, then starting the season where he was basically set to leave, so he had one eye elsewhere, and then he goes to England and just absolutely steps up, and he's the best centre-back in England. Yeah, he's the best centre-back in England, and that's got to account for something. The way he is in interviews. Now I'm just glazing him because I think he's perfect in what you want as a footballer. And I think he's a data-age dream. But I just think the second he gets to Liverpool, you've said it yourself, but bit like Virgil, you just see a level increase.
Yeah.
So
No.
I think this can end up being quite good because, again, without trying to skip too far ahead, I think we are going to get Guehi for free.
Yeah,
If it's
Liverpool
not
love
going to
him.
happen.
Liverpool
Yeah,
love
if it's not going to
I
happen in
think
January.
they've had convos. I'm sitting
Yeah,
here right now.
100%.
I know there's a lot of reports out now saying, "Oh, Madrid are interested, United are interested, Chelsea are interested." Of
Yeah.
course, they're interested. It's not gay, but I for Liverpool, for Paul, the way Paul Joyce put that article out, it's like he's been told he's a Liverpool player.
Yeah.
That's how I read it. It's like
Yeah.
he's a Liverpool player. He's just playing Crystal Palace shirt right now,
Yes.
but he will be in a red shirt. Don't worry
I
about
agree.
it.
I find it ludicrous the amount of people who are genuinely scared of other teams coming in for him. I've made 2 claims. Let me know if you agree, Jay. First claim: if Real Madrid and Barcelona were to come in, I still think we get him. I even think if Chelsea come in, I still think we get him. Second claim: they're not going to come in. There's no real demand, especially for Real Madrid, to get a centre back. They've got Dean Huijsen, they've got Asensio. They're going to bring in Konate. I think that will get done. Barcelona, again, like, they could look at Guehi as a profile, but I just don't think it'll be the number 1 option. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think it would be Guehi's preferred option, despite it being Barcelona and this, that, and the other. I think we're his number 1 choice, and I think no matter who comes in, we'll still get him.
Yeah, and look, so obviously if we go to this gay stuff, if you go back to the beginning of the whole thing, any supers that come in, guys, what I do, I'll read it in a minute, David. Big up you. I'll star it and I'll read it in a minute, man. Liverpool are after Guehi the whole summer. They like Mark Guehi. They wanted the whole summer. They just wanted them for the right price. And at the end of the day, Liverpool and Crystal Palace decided on the right price, and then it just got pulled out last second.
Yeah.
Liverpool rate him highly, and a player like that, for me, Mark Guehi is too good not to play. And Liverpool must have been aware that they're probably thinking Ibu might leave, Ibu might stay, but Virgil van Dijk's probably going to leave in 2 years' time as well. This guy is going to play a lot of football. Maybe not this season, but in the years to come, he's going to be playing a lot of football. Big up Coppage with the Raiders as well.
Coppage.
My brothers.
The boys.
Big up. Everyone coming over from Coppage. Big up everyone coming from Coppage, man. Much love to the boys. Liverpool like Mark Guehi. I don't think we're ever going. Well, I don't think you can actually have 5 first choice centre backs at a football.
Thank you, Jay. It's perfect time for the Coppish community to come in today. My God. Carl will die on the hill for 5 centre backs.
Right. I like having 5 centre backs, but 5 first team centre backs is going to be too difficult because the centre back area, the number 1 goalkeeper and your 2 main centre backs are the 3 players you probably don't rotate as much than every other. Like, you can rotate wingers, you can rotate central midfielders. Yeah. Your number 1 goalkeeper plays, and usually your two best centre backs play every week unless there's an injury or something like that. They play, and then you want to play a pretty decent to come in after. If you look at Real Madrid's and Barcelona's backups to centre backs, they're not the greatest. By the way, they're not the greatest. And there's Leoni, yeah? So I'm going to talk about Leoni a minute where I tie all this in, yeah? Because a lot of Liverpool fans haven't seen him play yet, don't realise how much of a G this guy is, yeah?
Yeah.
He'll play against Southampton, everyone's going to see it. I know he's 19 years of age, and some people talk about his age. He can't play being this young. Well, Real Madrid bought a centre-back from Bournemouth at the same age as 19, and he's Real Madrid's number 1 centre-back at the moment.
Yeah.
For arguably the biggest club in the world. I think Liverpool see Leoni as a Virgil van Dijk replacement, in my opinion. And they were looking to Mark Guehi to maybe be a Konate replacement, and that was their future centre-back partnership for the years to come. I think that's what they're looking for. Virgil's going to be impossible to replace with an absolute unicorn like Virgil is. Bastoni's a quality centre back. I think Bastoni is world class, but he's world class for me in a back 3, not a back 2. Mm-hmm. And I think it makes a massive difference if you're an exceptional back 3 centre back compared to a back 2 centre back. So replacing Virgil is difficult, and Liverpool believe Leoni's the best in class for his age group in Europe. They've gone out in public and said that, and they believe it. Mark Guehi is someone they desperately wanted because I believe Mark Guehi might suit Arne Slot's system on Ibu Konate. Slot probably loves Ibu, but I think if you've got two centre backs who can defend like they both can, but play on the ball like they both can, I think it gives Slot that more where he wants to keep the ball for 99% of the game, and it gives him more control in games having two centre backs like that as well. So Konate's stuck in a position right now where it's why I keep saying it. I actually really rate. People don't think I do. I actually rate Ibu Konate. He's a top centre back. But do Liverpool rate him like some of the fan base do?
No,
because Liverpool last season told the world Virgil's not replaceable. So they gave a 33, 34-year-old 350 grand a week.
Yeah.
Ibu Konate at this moment in time, the football club are telling you maybe is replaceable.
It's obvious throughout the whole dispute, isn't it? And I also think we understand the Real Madrid links and they're looking at that and putting that together. But I'll make another claim. I think our centre-back situation's a lot healthier than people suggest. I was debating with Callum the other day, and I made a bit of a jokey remark about Reece Williams still being at the club as fifth choice. If you wasn't happy with the versatile players who could step in as fifth choice, you've got Reece Williams there. Now, that was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek joke, but after the show, I put two and two together and said, wait there, what's Luke Chambers? Did he end up going out on loan? Luke Chambers didn't go out on loan. And I thought in pre-season, when he stepped up at centre-back, I thought he looked really good and showed good attributes. Now, again, when this five centre-back conversation really bothers me, because it's a 1% scenario, but it's taken over 60 or 70% of the conversations we're having on stream. And we're worrying about if the absolute worst-case scenario of both Konate and Gomez being simultaneously injured for an extensive period of time. And then what happens if Virgil looks either exhausted or if he gets injured? We're basically worrying about 2021 happening again, though I haven't seen it prior to 2021 and I haven't seen it since. So that's what really irks me about this debate, because I could list all of our centre-backs now and tell you we've actually got arguably more depth this year than last year, because all we've done is replace Leoni with Kwanzaa. And Jay, I'm on the train with you as well with Leoni. I think he's class. I think current Leoni is better than current Kwanzaa, though I rate Kwanzaa as well. That's how highly I rate him. So I look at it like our quality is actually overall improved in the back four. Also, an important factor: the club don't want 5 senior centre backs because they were going to let Joe Gomez go if we were to bring in Mark Guehi. Just remember that. So this is the club's view as well, and I share it. So you've got Leoni coming in for Kwanzaa, then you've got Luke Chambers. Let's just say he's the 5th choice. Out and out centre back who's actually a centre back. He's actually a left back, but he can play centre back as well, and he's played a lot of games there. And he's just been out on loan at Wigan, right? Yeah. So you've got a bit of a Gerald Kwanzaa back in the day after his Bristol Rovers stint situation with Luke Chambers as your 5th choice. If you're not happy with him, bring in Robertson or Enzo or whoever that versatile option is. But again, it's a 1% scenario. Touch wood, I don't foresee 2021 happening again. Therefore,
I've never seen it since then, or before then.
So therefore, 5 centre-back in big 2025 of senior level, like wanting Guehi, Gomez, Leoni, Konate, and Van Dijk is not how you run a football club for me. It's not how Liverpool are run, at least, and I don't think it makes sense. And that's why I just think the club not going for other options rather than Guehi, because they understand they've done the groundwork there. They know I don't think Liverpool just go in on Guehi if they hadn't had the reassurance that he is going to be a Liverpool player, whether it be this summer or next. Guehi always did mention the possibility of that. So our centre-back scenario just looks like this for me. Konate goes, I think that happens, right? And probably something we should talk about whether you think it's going to happen as well. So once that happens, in my view, I then think, in my view, we get Guehi. So now we've just got Konate out and Guehi in. And again, I see a world where Guehi can be more beneficial to a Liverpool team than Konate. I do see a world where that happens. It's an exceptional replacement. And if Konate is to leave and Guehi is his replacement, they got different qualities as a centre-back. Konate's got that physical stature. He's quick and he's aggressive and he's channel defending. Mark Guehi's not that. He's more of that. He's more not like Virgil, but he's kind of like that sort of centre back where he's a lot calmer.
very positional aware. On the ball, he's excellent. He moves the ball very well as well. He carries the ball out of the back. He's got good passing range. Passing into midfield is very good as well. We've seen that a few times for him before. He's an exceptional, talented centre back, and I think people are seeing that now. I think Mark Guehi's just gone under the radar, but I think the last 12 months or so, people were speaking about him more, and now we hear the interest of big European teams on him because he's going to be a free. I think that tells you how good Mark Guehi is as a footballer. So,
do you know those links though? If people look into those links, the ones that were linking him to Spain, none of those reports came directly out of Spain.
No. And at this moment in time, I think you've got to believe Spanish reports when they came out, because a lot of these Spanish reports that came out about Trent for the last 12 months were all correct at the end. So
he was like Joe Felix Diaz, I think his name is. He covered the Trent thing spot on. I've looked back at his work on that saga. I never followed it as much during the time, and it was spot on. And it is literally like a mirror situation with Konate right now, which is why I think he's going to go. I think if Felix Diaz, who's, for those who don't know who he is, he's basically the Paul Joyce for Real Madrid. So he's like that close connection with.
He only talks when he needs to. Basically, he's that sort of reporter.
Pretty much, and that's why what he's saying now about Konate, there's legs to it. Do you know what I mean? Konate's already basically gone. Do you know what I mean?
I think there's legs to it. I mean, I was reading what David Lynch was saying today. I don't know if you saw what David Lynch was saying today.
No, I didn't. To be fair.
Let me see if I can find it right now. I think I retweeted it. Did I retweet it? Let me have a look.
Sam's still butthurt about Guehi not joining the club. Come on, Sam. It's all right, mate. He'll be ours next year.
So he says here, nothing has been decided on Konate's contract, and Liverpool are there, and there's been talks, and Konate hasn't given the impression that he wants to leave Liverpool just yet. He also goes on and says, you can't rule out that they're striking agreement, because you've got to look back at the Van Dijk and Salah situation that dragged on, and everybody said they were gone and then they weren't. So you've got to bear that in mind. That's what Lynch is saying today. So Lynch is basically saying what he's heard through the grapevine is that, Liverpool's still actively trying to get him to sign a deal. And what he's heard is that Konate is not pushing to go anywhere.
Not to slate David Lynch, but that I think he just mainly speaks about like obvious stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like I think that's like obvious to put out. That's obvious journalism. So and that's not disrespecting him. He's a very good talker on the game and stuff like that. But like for me, it's obvious that we're going to keep trying to extend Konate, because the club still do rate him, as they should. Do you know what I mean? They should still rate Konate. The dream, I think, for the club is keep Konate on a wage that they deem reasonable. Bring in Guehi for free, let Gomez go, and then operate between them three as the options, and then give you a bit of time to think about what to do post Virgil.
That'd be my perfect world, because as I said, I love Konate, I love Ibu, I want him to stay at the football club. I just got different parallels where I see a world class footballer as James has, as Cal has, as Drifty has, as Matt has, as Enz has, as all of us. We've all got different ways we look at world-class players.
We all seem
top
to
player.
Be top 5, top 10. You know what I mean? In the world, so
it's a top player. There's no doubt about it. And Liverpool will be stronger to keep him. But I like Mark Guehi as well, and I see a lot of great stuff from Mark Guehi that I know Slot would love as a centre back from Liverpool at Liverpool.
Yeah.
And if you're telling me next year our 4 centre backs are Virgil, Konate, Mark Guehi, and Giovani Leoni, you probably won't find 4 better in Europe.
And I think because me and you really like Leoni, we're a lot more safer with that as an option in our minds, whereas other people just don't. They just look at him a bit like a under 18s kid, don't they? And also like little things that people miss. He got given a number 15 shirt. It's not like he got given like a number 50 shirt or a number 38 shirt. You know, he's been given a first team number. He is considered and viewed as a first team player. He was bought for a first team fee. Yeah. You don't pay 26 to 29 million
quid. Yeah, exactly.
For a guy who's going to be in your under 23s. He's coming right into the team, and as you said, he'll probably play against Southampton, and once he does, God bless Konate, mate. Do you know what I mean? Because I think
he's a beast,
even he only performs the way I expect him to. Not this season, but he will get into the first team. Do you know
he will eventually, man. He will eventually. I mean, the man's been called up for international duty as well already. I mean,
Have you heard the way they speak about him in Italy?
Yeah, they love the guy. They didn't want him to leave
fucking-
Italy. They
It's
hate the fact he's left.
phenomenal. It's brilliant, isn't it? It really feels like we've just got the Florian Wirtz of centre backs, the Italian version. That's what it feels like. He's being talked about as a Rolls Royce future of Italy's defence.
Now, this is where big up promo. This is where I might just I'll twist it a little bit here. I'm going to twist it a little bit, promo. If you don't mind, promo, I'm going to twist it a little bit. You won't mind.
Twist on the light bulb.
What I will say is, because he's 18 years of age, he hasn't been established too long in the Italian game, like maybe a 26, 27-year-old seasoned Italian centre-back has. And because I think he looks up to other European centre-backs like a Virgil and stuff like that, he's maybe adapted his game to different styles. That's just not an Italian style. So because of that, I think he actually might be, as an Italian defender coming over into England, it might not affect him like it would if he was like Bastoni right now. If you went and got Bastoni right now and played him a back two in Premier League football, I actually think he might struggle.
Yeah, possibly.
There might be a bit where he might actually struggle, but because Leoni's 18 and he's already said Virgil's his hero. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how Italians see him. They see him as the next Virgil van Dijk. That's what they're saying. So if he's going to play like that, it might be all right. Big up promo. Thank you very much. So that's how I'm looking at it with Leoni.
The thing that people need to look into if they don't have faith in a signing, you need to look into scouting reports. You need to look into the eyewitnesses who have watched them week in, week out. What are his peers saying? What are other coaches saying? What are pundits saying? And then also look at what you can online. Look at compilations and look at what you see there. Obviously, that's only going to show you the good stuff, but you can still view that and then make an opinion on what you think his strengths and weaknesses are, because it's not all just good clips. Like, I've looked at bad clips of him and so on and so forth.
Oh, you got to, yeah.
My overall opinion of him is like, you have everything I need in a centre back. You're quick for your size. Like, even if he's not quick for the 6'5" fella, like, he's very agile and he has got a bit of an eye for the pass. He is smart with his decision making on the ball. And he looks like a guy who just has that aggressive nature, who loves defending. And I love that Lukaku performance. And I say to anyone, if you need to watch like what he's about, watch that Lukaku performance, watch the Napoli game, watch the Juventus game as well with Vlahovic. But I think that Napoli one was just top class, because he was like holding on to his shirt, and I don't know if you've seen that photo, Lukaku's head sticking out with his shirt.
And he's basically got him like that.
It looks like
when the parents take their kid home, when the parents take their kid home because they've been naughty, you've got them by the shirt collar like that.
And people don't realise he started last season's campaign at Sampdoria. They flipped him and sold him to Parma, but I think they bought him for like 1.5 million or something. Flipped him for 4 million to Parma. Like, this kid has been in some demand in Spain, in Italy for a long time.
Yeah, they wanted him.
We've got a good one.
I think they wanted him at Juventus. I think that was meant to be the. And
Inter was a big one, wasn't it? That was a big link throughout the summer.
Because Juventus are seen as the biggest club in Italy, I think that's where they were trying to
navigate him towards.
Yeah, so I think that's where they're trying to navigate him, as you say, towards. And, he's gone, no, I think I'm ready to go to Liverpool. I think, I'm 18, but I'm ready to make that step up. And, I can only go with what I've seen.
Get him if he's 26. I think if he stays in Italy till 26,
he's in Italy for his career. Italy's his career,
yeah. And sorry, Jay, and then I'll let you go. And he'll be homegrown if he stays with us for 5 years. He'll be a homegrown player.
Exactly. And I mean, LFC Vision might be right. He's overhyped a little bit. Yeah, I can only tell you how excited I am because I've seen him play a few times. And just a few times, it's like when I saw Ekitike. When I saw Ekitike, I was like, he's a player. When you just see it and you're like, yeah, he's a player.
I need to respond to that comment, though, like, because I don't get comments like this. Like, I think he's a bit overhyped. That's fine. That's all right. Yeah. But the logic of saying he would be starting against Burnley if he was a good level, that's not true, because he's competing against two top-level centre-backs. Forget the semantics of world-class or whatever. We can all agree Virgil's world-class. Whether we agree Konate is or not, he's still good level, and he's considered really good in the eyes of the manager. So just because Leoni isn't overtook Konate doesn't mean that he's not worth the praise that me and Jamie are giving him based off of if he starts against Burnley or not. I don't agree with that. And I don't agree with this logic, like, oh, you haven't watched them week in, week out. I gave you a few other alternate ways to view a player before, and all me and Jay are saying, from what we've seen, we like what we see. He's a talented kid with real potential, and it's not just us saying it either. Ask the people who have watched them week in, week out. He's a top talent.
I've got some breaking news that ain't football related. It's wrestling related. For any wrestling fans out there,
Okay.
apparently Saudi Arabia will hold WrestleMania in 2 years' time.
Wow.
So apparently WrestleMania 43 in 2027 will be from Saudi Arabia. That's some news breaking right now.
Just imagine they'd make that a big one, wouldn't you? Obviously,
Yeah,
WrestleMania is always big, but
yeah, so that's apparently the rumor going around. I just saw it in my timeline because I'm obviously a wrestling nut, so it pops up. Yeah, that's an interesting one. But yeah, Leoni's going to be a player. What I've seen of him, I think he's an absolute unit, and and he's quick, he's strong, he's athletic, he can pass the ball as well. Yeah, we basically stole the defensive Italian golden boy. Yeah, is what we did. Yeah, pretty much. You know, Bastoni's the golden boy of Italian defenders right now after Chiellini's and all that retired. You know, he's the main one. But yeah, this young kid, man, he was the next one. He was the next one, man. He was the next one. And, you know, Liverpool grabbed him like they do. Like Liverpool grabbed him all this summer. Wirtz, golden boy of Germany, will have him as well. Do you know what I mean?
I think
that's what we do.
If I was to compare like our signings to like previous players, I think we got Bastoni at 18. Like I think we've got that level of player.
That's what Liverpool believe
That he's going to be, and because they believe it, I have strong reason to. And he's already shown good signs in his game, and he's physically matured, so on and so forth. So I compare it to that, and then you know if you look at like if you want to compare like Wirtz as well, he's another one where it's just like that is what sort of, you know, like Memphis Depay was always sort of meant to be, weren't it? Like this top player who elevates United, takes them to the next level. And it's like, but this is the guy who he will be generational. Like, and that's something that's already been established on his records at the moment, is that he is going to take us to a whole nother level when he kicks into form. Like even Ekitike, I look at him and I go, you're a bit like Torres. Like you're going to be the guy who's never going to be the golden boy of your generation, because Mbappe's there, and that just probably isn't going to be laid out on a mantle. You're probably going to be one of those players who you'll get the big moments in big games and you'll be loved for that. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of like the way David Villa always got the love and the praises above Torres in Spain a lot of the time because he was Barcelona's player and he obviously done well for the national team as well. He was a great player in his own right. But Torres was his sort of viewed lower than him for the reason that he was at Liverpool. Liverpool weren't as good as Barcelona and so on and so forth. But then he goes and wins them to 2000. Or big reason why they won the 2010 World Cup. Do you know what I mean? I can see Ekitike being like another level of that. All of our business, is future proof, and it is the intention of playing for the next 5 or 10 years and being really, really good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree, man. We got the talent in the club at the moment is unreal, and you can see what Liverpool are trying to build, and especially them centre back areas. And well, does Konate leave? I think it's going to be a saga that probably drags on all season, unfortunately. And
do you think he'll go?
I'm not sure at this moment in time.
Are you 50-50?
I'm sort of still on the fence about it. I really am. Do you know what it is at this moment in time? I'm thinking, why the fuck would you want to leave this club right now?
Because I think there's a cushy wage at the end of the tunnel. I think if there is any other project you're going to leave Liverpool for, it would be Madrid. And bear in mind, this isn't the Scouser talking. Do you know what I mean? This isn't like a Scouser leaving the club. This is like a young French dude whose French mates are all at Real Madrid. He said it himself. Mbappe's calling him every 2 hours. I just think when you look at Felix Diaz, you look at Konate's own behaviour, reportedly a third contract offer turned down. For me, I'm sorry, mate, all things point towards him going. Do you know what I mean? I think I'm now like 90% sure he's going to go. I think we'll still try to keep him. But
Leoni's dad born in... I never knew his dad was born in Liverpool. What is that?
If that's true, that's mad.
Is it? It can't be true. Right. The power of Google is helping me now.
Yeah, we've got to verify this. There's no way that's true. That is so random.
Let's have a look.
I'd love to know if that is true, if that played a part in him joining.
Let's have a look. Surely it can't be true.
Who even is his dad? When his dad's a player?
No, it doesn't say anything.
No, it's not.
Oh, it says here, Giovani Leoni. My dad was born in Liverpool, so I know the place very well. It was an easy decision for me.
That's a quote from Leoni.
Apparently. 3
That is
weeks
what?
ago. Oh, no. It's all bullshit. It's from, so, you know that
Is it
Anfield
Anfield
Papers?
Papers?
Yeah.
He's not Anfield Papers.
The Anfield Papers put something out there and literally every media source took it and run with it. Yeah.
Do you know that Anfield Papers is getting people? You know, I was quite
Yeah.
lucky to like realise what that page was early on, but it's caught some people.
He does look scouse, to be fair.
He does, though. He does look like a Scouse kid. He does.
Well, you know, do you remember Christian Quartet? What is his name?
Quartes, yeah. The guy who went to Sporting Lisbon and done quite well.
His dad was actually English, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, no, and where was he? Was he Greek? What was he?
I can't remember. Oh, he's Uruguayan, wasn't he?
Uruguayan, that was it.
I believe his dad was English or half English or something like that. And like everyone said, if his dad was English or half English, then his surname is actually Coates.
Yeah.
You know, it's not Quarters.
Nah, that would be mad though.
Oh. That Anfield Papers, it does me, man.
No, it does. It's got me before. I'm not gonna lie.
I've actually muted it, man. I can't have them on my timeline, man.
Yeah.
When I see something like
because now I'm onto it, I kind of like what it does. But if I weren't in the know, then yeah, I'd be upset as well.
Scraps was his dad. I swear his dad was English. I swear he was. I think I got 2 super chats. Let me just read these supers out. We'll move on, guys. Big up David. He's David sent them both, man. He says Guehi's a better player than Konate, in his opinion. Maybe as a player, but Konate is probably a better defender right now. But yeah, as a footballer, you know, on the ball, running with the ball, moving with the ball, passing the ball. Yeah, Guehi's a better footballer. I'd still have Konate as a better defender.
Yeah.
Bit of David's big super as well. It says, lads, as a scouser living in Italy, we have a special player and only watching Italian football. Be up, David. Yeah, I watched some, as I say, I do my Italian watch longs. That'll be back this weekend, guys, on Big Up. So don't forget, be there for that. And be at Big Up tomorrow as well for the Vibes and Copy show as well tomorrow, guys. I did some last season and I saw him a few times last season. I didn't like, he wasn't a name I was looking out for, though, but you can't not miss the guy. He's fucking gigantic on the pitch, you know, and the way he moved to that, it's like, yeah, that's an impressive player there, man. I don't know too much about him, though. And then we went and bought him, man. Yeah, remember quite as his goal against QPR. Yeah, the bicycle volley or whatever it was. Yeah, that was a beautiful goal. Beautiful goal.
It was weird, wasn't it? Because we actually got some good players, Jordan. Like, because he ended up doing all right after us. Same with Iago Aspas. He ended up doing all right after us. It was weird, wasn't it? The way like they were so bad. But
then they went. Look, some of them went to the, you know, Aspas went back to Spain, lit it up. I think some players just suit certain leagues, if you ask me. Some players just suit.
It's in it, really. I think that's what it is. Yeah, maybe like the homegrown aspect. True.
Big old quiz. My man in the chat, he says, "Would you drop Konate, and if so, for who?"
No, Jay. I don't know what your opinion on it. Do you know this overreaction to Konate for the beginning of the season? I know he was poor in 2 of the games, but I just think the way people have gone from calling him like what we're giving him, like top 10, you know, they're in thereabouts like as one of the best in the world. Like, I think the way people have flipped on him, largely due to the news around the contract, is just a bit mad.
Yeah, I think it's a contract. Like people in my chat will always tell you, with Konate, I've always been up and down with Ibu. Like as a defender, always been up and down with him. But I've never like changed my stance on it. As I said, I think he's a top player, not world class for me. Yeah. There's things I don't like about his game. There's things I love about his game. Does he frustrate me as a centre back sometimes? Hell yeah. You know. Does Mo Salah frustrate me sometimes as one of the best right wingers ever? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I can get frustrated and hate players.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But look, no, I wouldn't drop it. But like, I don't know. Joe Gomez looked quite good with him.
He was great when he came on. I said it the other week, a proper veteran performance.
I don't think I would right now, and his performance against Arsenal was excellent. So
it'd be a weird time to do it. Yeah.
I think you could have, if you were going to drop him, it would have been before the Arsenal game because his performances are dropped. But after the Arsenal game now, no, I don't think you can. But if Guehi was in the team, if Guehi was literally part of the Liverpool team right now, you could have a big shout. Maybe Guehi steps in for So, but right now, no. Like Leoni, I want to see him in the League Cup first. You know, let him just get his foot on. You know, he's 18, 19. He's got time. And Joey's there. Keep him fresh, keep him fit, man. We're all good if you ask me. I'm not too worried about it. But I just want to talk about Virgil quickly because I don't know if everyone knows, but Virgil's 34 years of age, man. And he doesn't play like a man in his 30s.
No.
At all.
No.
Not at all. Did he piss me off in the Charity Shield game when he was just like all over the shop? Yeah. So what, Virg? That irritated me. And this is where I'm honest with things. I slagged Virgil off for that performance. I keep things very as I see it on the day. But my God, Virgil, man. I know a lot of people keep talking about Virgil can't play every game this season. And James, I don't know if it's just me and I'm an idiot. But I'm like, why can't he? Because
the Isak celebration to those fools, me, mate. I'm doing that.
Why can't I? Why can't he?
Because he's 34, and they think that by the time he's done at the end of this contract, he'll be done for good. Yeah, my stance is different. I think he's a bit John Terry, isn't he? Not without all the other weird stuff.
Without all the other shit that went with him, yeah.
And he's more well-rounded as well. But I think in terms of the longevity, didn't John Terry play every game in the Premier League at the age of like 36, 37, 38, something like that? Like a ridiculous age, and he was still playing.
He started. I mean, yeah.
And I just think the way Virgil plays, don't get me wrong, if he was someone who relied solely on pace and physicality all the way throughout, then yeah, maybe at the end of the 2 years you've got to consider another option. But the way I see it, he's again, touch wood, he never gets injured. He's always reliably fit. Do you know what I mean? And in games, you don't really see him getting into mad tussles or anything like that because his IQ, his positioning doesn't allow him to. It's all about reading where the attacker is going to be and the best way to put them off. That type of IQ can make him last till he's about 38, and not to make the modern world too much better than the old world, but the modern world does have the technology, the data and all this. I'm sure he is reading that he can go a bit longer and maybe perform till he's 38.
Yeah, Terry.
I think that
Terry at 34, 35 was at Villa.
Was he at Villa?
Mm.
No, have I?
Rio was at QPR.
I know Rio was. I thought John Terry lasted longer at Chelsea than that.
No, Virgil's a unicorn, man. And look,
no, that can't be right. Is that right? Oh my God, John Terry's only 44 as it speaks. He was.
Yeah. Virgil is just.
Why did I presume he was about 38 doing that?
To be fair, John Terry looked quite old even at 20, didn't he?
No, but do you know why that's even a weird comparison anyway? Because I was going to use that in my favour based on that John Terry had no pace and he was able to still last. Forget John Terry, he was crap. Virgil isn't crap. Virgil, best John Terry versus best Virgil. Give me Virgil every single day, twice on Sundays. Like
you might need to delete that video from the universe, though. You're Rory, yeah.
That was an in the moment one, and it's the full clip. That was 4 years ago. So
I know. You're so young in it.
I know, but I was trying to claim that best for best. I would always pick Virgil.
No, you went peak. You went peak, and they weren't having the peak bit.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I thought, all right, let me not, because I don't like it when them shows are too unbearable. So I was like, if there's one that I'm going to concede, I'll concede this one on that premise. Yeah. But I weren't happy with it, and I've done a heavily.
I'll tell you what, I bet 4 years later, if you ask Rory now, he might actually say Virgil.
If I could take that back, no, he'd still say John Terry.
You reckon?
If I could take that, yeah, because he's shameless. But if I could take that back, I would. I would definitely take that back.
I think John Terry,
because Virgil's got the longevity now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I always thought Carvalho made John Terry look better, personally.
He was great, Carvalho.
I thought he made John Terry look better. I just look at Virgil, and I know people are saying like we have 4 competitions. I only want Virgil. I don't want Virgil to play the domestic cups. He doesn't need
No,
to.
him and Salah go home and
Yeah.
rest.
Even if you go all the way to the final, I don't need to play him in it. I really don't.
No,
Leoni and Gomez can play the cups.
yeah.
By the way, that could be an awesome centre-back partnership. So they can
Who?
play the cups. Yeah,
Gomez
Leoni
and Leoni,
Gomez. Yeah, that could be a great partnership at the back for cup games. Just give me Champions League and Premier League. Just give me Champions League and Premier League. And I know a lot of people were saying, what if Virgil gets an injury? So at 34 years of age, guys, because of the way Virgil's played his whole career, which is pretty much injury-free, touch wood, apart from that one season where someone tried to end his career.
Yeah.
Because he's played so much football and kept himself really fit, when you get to a certain age like 34, it might make you more injured if you start getting rested more.
Yep.
It might have the absolute opposite effect, where we're trying to protect Virgil and not play him and rest him and maybe only he plays 35% less games this season than he did last season because we're trying to protect him in his age and all that. It could actually have the reverse effect. And he actually gets injured because of the rest, because his body's not used to it, because he's always out there playing. And it could be a different effect because we don't ever think of it that way. We always think, oh, he's playing, he's overplaying. Where you take him out and you go, right, now you can't, we're going to rest you for 3 weeks and then bring you back a little bit cold. That could where he gets a muscle injury. That's where, because when you get older, we all know it, yeah? When you get older, your body gets older. It's not just an age. Your body gets older. So your muscles are not as strong. Your bones are not as strong. Yeah. You put on weight easier. It's harder to lose it. All this sort of weird stuff that your bodies go through, even for athletes. And Virgil's 34, and he's a prime athlete. He's an athletic guy. So taking him out to rest him 35% more games than he did last season, I don't know what you think, James. It can actually have the revolt, the effect where he actually gets injuries because of that.
I know, I agree. I can't believe the conversation around it infuriates me. We're not talking about a bummy. We're talking about an all-timer who came to the party a little bit later than most do, and he's on it. He's on a streak. Like, he is not 2019 Virgil. Yet this version of Virgil, I still would say, can contest any of the greatest centre-backs the Premier League and the world has ever seen. That's how good he is. So if you're telling me he's going to play 20% less over the next 2 years than what he had the previous 2 years, and he was going to be 20% worse, I still want that person in my squad. I really do, because he's still going to be better than every other centre-back, and he's still going to be valuable for the 80% of the games that he does play. So I don't agree with all this, like, let's start planning for Virgil's replacement until we're given a reason for that. If we get to halfway through this season or the beginning of next season and he is repeatedly putting up stinkers consistently throughout the season for extensive periods of time, and you're seeing that the lack of pace is starting to have an impact and so on and so forth, which would just completely contradict his style as a whole anyway, then yeah, we'll see. Do you know what I mean? We'll see. We'll have those conversations. But why do it now off the back of a league-winning season when he still looks as good as ever and he's still being our best, I think on quality, our best player, even if Szoboszlai has been the most important so far. He's unbelievable, Virgil, and that's why I can't even comprehend him going. And the two players in the world that I couldn't comprehend losing was him and Salah. So the fact they're still here, and I think can be still here beyond the 2 years, that makes me happy.
And I agree, man. And like Maldini's and Silvers that people were talking about in the chat, the reason they went on for long in their careers as well, because they weren't combative centre-backs like a John Terry was. John Terry was a combative centre-back. John Terry would go in there and take a stud to the head and bleed for his team and stuff like that, where these defenders were more about defending the area and the space around them, positional awareness, like sort of centre backs. Maldini always said, "If I've had to make a tackle, I've done something wrong." Do you know what I mean? That's and that's why they played for a longer time, because they knew how to, use their pace when needed. How to defend the space is an art form. It's not all defenders can do it. How to, winning balls in the air, the headers, that, using your power, using your strength, when to do it. You know, them centre backs were so cultured they could play into their mid-30s, late 30s, because if they're patient,
Thiago Silva.
they didn't need to rely on it because their positional awareness was still as good at 38 as it was at 28.
I'd
say
take Thiago. If you could give me Thiago Silva for the season, run me. Like, he's still that level as well, in my opinion. Not his peak, but he's still a level of above a lot of centre backs that we see in the modern game. A lot of the younger centre backs.
Yeah. I mean,
it just goes to show that players like that can continue to do it, though. Do you know what I mean? And I just think, again, okay, let's agree, Virgil's worse in 2 years' time. Sounds. If he's 20% worse, I still want him. That's my stance. That's my message to the day. Because he's still going to be better than most.
I don't think there's a defender on the planet right now playing anywhere near Virgil van Dijk.
The club are going to be on a back foot when Virgil does eventually go, because you're not going to get anyone like him, and that's okay. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be like when Suarez left. You're not going to replace him, are you? Really? You're going to have to replace him in a different way. So, like, maybe when Virgil goes, we get an even better CDM. So then we'll have 2 really good centre-backs with an absolutely elite CDM, and then we'll still be good defensively. But don't expect a like-for-like, much better version than Virgil, or even close, because seeing that again is unlikely.
Like Chill says here, premonition defending, man. That's a great line. You know, it is. It's like they know where the space is. They know where to hide up. Sergio Ramos is destroying La Liga. Yeah. Look, you got to get some players like Barret, them kind of centre-backs that can still do it. But, you know...
Pepe was holding his own in Europe until he was over there.
Would... You know, Pepe was 40 when he just retired, I believe, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think there's something about Virgil. I just watch him and, like, 33, 34, he's playing every week in, let's face it, the hardest league in the world. You know, where every player is literally quick. You know, goalkeepers, centre-backs, full-backs, whoever they are, they're all athletic, they're all quick, they're all strong, they're all big, they're all powerful. You know, that's the league we have, and you know, Virgil just plays in it like it's nothing. Like think of it, like it's nothing. Do you know how crazy that is?
No, it's mad.
He's an exceptional defender. So for me, I don't want to worry about Virgil. Virgil, your health, son. I don't really want you to play every week. Tell me to fuck off. What are you on about? I'll play, man. I'll tell you when I can't play.
And bear in mind, these conversations have already been ongoing. So, like, remember after the League Cup final where he was like, they thought I was finished, and it's true, because that is a narrative. It happens to most players when they go past 31. You know, you start getting talked about like these are the final years. It's happened to Salah, it's happened to Virgil. If they've proven people wrong before, I'm pretty sure they're going to do it again. And I understand 34 is different to 32. But it's this, along with everything they bring on the ball and physically, that I just think... There's just the levels, isn't there, in footy, and they're just in the elite category, both of them. I think Virgil a bit more, so I think he's the most important player this club's ever seen in recent times.
Yeah, he's just different. He's absolutely different. Look, if he keeps his level up for the next 18 months, he might get another new deal, you know. I ain't even lying.
I think he is going to. If you was make me bet my current bank account wages on that, I would say he gets a new deal.
Yeah, definitely, because I look at him now and like, do I see him falling off anytime this season? Probably not. So if he's not falling off this season, he's got 1 year left. He's getting a new deal, ain't he?
Because he lost that yard. He lost that yard of pace after his ACL, didn't he?
Which is understandable. And then and now if you watch him there, he uses it when he needs it.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need to put the burners on all the time now. But when he does, he's still got it.
No, it's like he's already adapted to that change of less physical.
He's
more reading.
Look,
and he's still quick. He's still a quick centre-back.
Exactly. Look, he's just a freak, man. And look, a lot of people, what winds me up is when people say he doesn't engage with a centre-back enough. That's the worst thing a centre-back can do.
That's the point.
That's why sometimes Konate gets in trouble, because he does engage and then he loses his position and players are behind him.
Yeah.
You know, that's what Virgil don't do, man. It's about defending is about defending
He
space. If you
defends
leave
boring.
space,
No, do you know what Virgil does? He's a boring defender.
Yeah, he's
What
boring. He's not eye catching at all.
Exactly,
Like-
exactly. It's the stuff that you don't see, and it's just why it's the same reason why people would say Floyd Mayweather a lot of the time was boring. Do you know what I mean? Because he just done the stuff he needed to do. Didn't need to be countering punches and exchanging with fighters. Do you know what I mean? Virgil doesn't need to do that. Why is he going to make himself more vulnerable when he can just hold off and get you eventually? That's what a good defender does. You know, back in the day when I played football, I'll be honest, Jay, I was technically limited. So I got pushed to the back for my size, and I also had to use my intelligence because I weren't as quick as other people. So I would rather you nutmeg me and I still win the possession than not nutmeg me, but you knock the ball around me and then you threw one goal. And I think Virgil just has that similar type of mentality, which I love. Be reserved. Yeah. And then when you get the ball back, ping it to Salah, boss.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a dream. Man. It's a dream mentality for the defender.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the guy, man. Him and Alisson Becker,
They're the three, aren't they? Alisson, Virgil, and Salah. They're the kings of this generation.
That's why they got all deals. That's why they stayed. That's why they want to. You know, I'll tell you right now, them three alone, they want to win back-to-back Premier Leagues. Desperate.
And they'll be 3-time Premier League winners then, won't they?
Yeah. And
do you know what I foresee? I foresee back-to-back Prems this season. 3 Premier Leagues for those 3 individuals particularly.
Yeah.
We win. I think we have a good chance at the domestic treble this year. I have a weird feeling, don't know why, been dreaming about it recently. Domestic treble, right? But we're going to fall short on the Champions League, which is going to cause a huge disappointment. I have a feeling in the semi-final stage. And I'm not saying this because I had a dream about it the other night. But then going into Salah's and Virgil's final season, it's the tiebreaker. Are they going to go? Are they going to stay? Are they going to be finished? So on and so forth. Salah scores in the Champions League final, wins us the Champions League. And Virgil's there and we get it, and he performs really well. And that's the way I foresee it. The remaining 2 years of their deals, whether they get extensions or not, who knows? I think domestic treble this year, get the Champions League next year.
Wow. I mean, that's one way to go out if that is the case.
If that was them going out as well, that would be the greatest exit of all time, because then you're a 3-time Prem champ, 2-time Champions League winner. And if it happens in that scenario, you've scored in the final again.
You've done it all in football, and you've done it all.
Yeah.
I think that's got a chance of happening. Alexander Isak, I want to mention because
my man.
Everyone in the chat, did everyone in the chat see Inside Training today? Most probably because
I've been using any piece of LFC content that I can scrape out of this international break.
Obviously, the full not everyone's back yet. You know, more coming back today, later today, tomorrow, and
Jay Spearin,
man, running around you. Obviously, Chiesa was there, looking decent. To be fair, looking sharp, looking fit. It looks like he's dropped a bit of weight as well. Nice to see Joey out there as well playing. You know, so he's fit now. But Isak, man, I ain't gonna lie. I know he has had no pre-season yet. His 20 minutes for Sweden the other day was better than everyone else who played for Sweden that game.
He made stuff happen.
Including Gyökeres. He made Gyökeres look shit in 20 minutes, man. It's crazy. He looked very sharp in trading. I ain't gonna lie, man. Does Arne Slot go? Fuck it. Let's just start you against Burnley. Or does he start him on the bench against Burnley? Because I ain't lying, man. He looked really sharp for Sweden for the 20 minutes he played.
Yeah, I still
training today.
I still feel reassured in Ekatike for the meantime while you're getting them.
Oh, I love Ekatike, man.
Yeah,
I love.
But I get what you're saying. The sooner that we see Isak starting games, the better. And that's what he was brought in to do. He is going to be the starting number 9. So whenever that will be, I don't think it will be this game. I think it'll be the one after. Who do we play after Burnley? Is it Everton? Everton. That'll be a mad game to start. But I think it'll be that one, to be honest. And then either the conversation there is Gakpo or Ekatike. Who gets sacrificed, and does Ekatike get shifted to the left? And I don't know that answer fully because I'm not inside the beautiful ball brain of Arne Slot, but I do think that both are lucrative for different reasons. Gakpo always gets a goal or an assist and Ekitike's been doing the same thing. So I just don't know. And I feel like Ekitike and Isak, they can both sort of switch a little bit because Isak has had a little bit of experience on the left. I don't know. I'm just trying to get... That is nuts, by the way. That is absolutely crazy.
I know it's great.
Yeah, that is
fair,
nuts.
man.
And yeah, that's why for me, like, what Ekitike said it, didn't he? Like, I'm gonna just make it a huge fucking problem for the manager. Like, I just want to make this an issue. Do you know what I mean? And like, I love that. I love that way of thinking. And if Ekitike somehow comes out on top, I'll be buzzing and sad at the same time.
Do you know the thing that? Because I just want to see Isak on the pitch, man, in a red shirt.
Yeah, same. He's unbelievable, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? We don't have to rush him because we do have Ekitike. That's how mad our summer window's been. If I told you a year ago, I'll go, oh, well, look, we bought Isak, yeah, but we don't have to rush him, man, because we've got this other player called Ekitike.
I'd be a bit like, what are you smoking? You know what I mean? Get Isak in the team straight away. You said to me 6 months ago, Ekitike is going to be starting above Isak initially. Yeah. Oh, mate, I'd be just losing my head. I really would. It's a mad situation, and it's a good one to be in because this is what depth in the modern game. This is the type of depth that's needed in the modern game.
Quality.
And this is quality, as you say, and that's why I think it will be. I think the most... What's your most likely case? Do you think the foreseeable main front three, because it always changes, they'll all get minutes, will be Isak, Ekitike on the left and Salah? Or do you think it's going to be Gakpo on the left? What do you foresee?
I think in the smaller game, in the games when they're playing against really low blocks, I think he might go Ekitike and Isak and Salah because of the way Ekitike can drop in and link the play.
Yeah. To
bring other fullbacks and centre backs out of position. Where Cody, when you're playing against the low block, I love Cody, by the way, but when Cody, he does his thing, gets it, cuts inside, and gets low blocks, it can be quite difficult to do that and find that room. But the way Ekitike just naturally drops, it's his natural game, he naturally drops. He'll drop, he'll pick up the ball. What I like about him, I think he's a much more graceful runner than a Cody. And that's not me dissing Cody. I think Cody's a great player, as I say. But he's very smooth with it, Ekitike. And I think in transition as well, I think Ekitike, Isak and Salah, it's absolutely frightening. I just think that's frightening because Ekitike's got a good touch. He's got good speed. He glides off the pitch. Isak and Salah. Do you know what I mean? You just got that three there that I think is terrifying for, you as an opposition team, if you take one risk in a game and oh shit, and then three are then getting in behind you, it's curtains.
Yeah.
I think for the bigger games, I think he drops one stays on the bench and Cody plays left wing because it opens up a little bit more. But yeah, for games like, I don't know, if you're playing West Ham at home, he might go with Ekitike for his link-up play off the left, and Isak and Salah. But for the bigger games, Gakpo on the left.
I think that's a good way to put it. And I also think, as you say, what is more dangerous, starting with Gakpo, Isak and Salah, and then having Ekitike to come off the bench, because we already know how good Arne Slot is with identifying a one-punch KO power when it comes to substitutes. Like, once that substitute gets made, the game changes. And if that goes from Chiesa coming on against Bournemouth to Ekitike coming on against Everton, for instance, for Isak, what an option. Do you know what I mean? Or vice versa, whoever you want to sub on into that game. It's a great option. Same with Gakpo, though. This is kind of what we had last season, but me and you were saying it a couple of weeks ago. The depth might be one lower in the attack, but it's certainly quality-wise much better. And I even think like Rio Ngamoa can be a little X factor in there and be a really solid option as well.
Certainly
off the bench, as he's already shown. So it's tough though, isn't it? Because it's like, things can go wrong in football, but I just don't see what goes wrong. And even when something wrong does happen, like, God forbid, Isak injury, Ekitike is going to be I'm more than fine with him playing. It's a weird one, isn't it? Like,
you got Rio and Cody on the left.
Frimpong's just being injured and we didn't think about it.
No, and now, he was back in training, running, so he's
He's
fit
back
again.
in training now,
So he's
and
fit now. So he's fit.
we
He's
haven't
ready to go.
thought about him being injured. And I get the feeling if Konate does get injured, we're not going to miss him too much because Gomez or Leoni can step in and do a job there, whereas other people are thinking about if they're all injured at once for some bizarre reason.
I just think it's problems that that are great problems. It just means the manager's got more weapons to win games of football, and at the end of the day, that's what we need to do, is just win games of football. And a team like, say, I don't know, Ekitike is starting for a couple of weeks because he's actually just getting in the mood, and Ekitike's running centre backs, legs tired, and it's 20 minutes ago, and they're bringing on Isaac, and you're like, fuck's sake. And there is that's coming on against tired legs, or even the other way around. Ekitike coming up against tired legs, the way he plays, his pace and power, and link up play, and the way he.
And how often would have Nunes been a good substitute if he could finish? Do you know what I mean? He'd been a great substitute most of the time if he could finish, and he was a good substitute even still without his finishing. So to have Ekitike, who I think's of a higher quality, I just think it's going to be a game changer.
I just think. Look, I think we just all want to see Isaac play, and I just feel like he's just going to smash goals for fun at Liverpool. I mean, he got set up a lot by Newcastle. Also, with Ekitike playing off the left, I've heard people say Isaac can play off the left as well. I don't know if I want that as much. I'd rather Isaac through the middle. But they can maybe interchange.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, they got the quality.
Never starting them on the left. But
I actually think it benefits Kirkes more if Ekitike plays on the left than Cody.
Yeah, I've heard you say this.
Because I don't think Ekitike it'll be on paper 4-2-3-1, but I think in reality it'll be more like Ekitike is like an inside left forward next to Isaac, and that leaves a lot of room on the left hand side for Kirkes to do what he did at Bournemouth and getting into them dangerous final third positions and putting balls in the box for Ekitike and Isaac. And if they don't get to him, they've got Salah back post. So I think that might be something that is another weapon that Arnslot's got this season they probably didn't have last season in certain areas of the pitch like that. So, I think that's another weapon there. Again, also Cody being Cody, that man's inevitable. He gets goals, is what he does, and he can do his thing. So a lot of weapons in our attack. There's no doubt about that, and I'm just looking forward to seeing him come back play. But there is another position I want to talk about, and that is at right back. And we know Szoboszlai has been the best right back in world football this season. And
by far. By far.
And by the way, he's had a good international week as well. Hungary,
really good.
So he's just on fire at the moment.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've seen Alexis McAllister played, I think, 90 minutes for Argentina, but he looked a bit ragged. Now, they were playing in Bolivia, I think they were playing maybe, where there was so much feet above sea level. So obviously the oxygen's a lot thinner, so it's harder to breathe and stuff like that. So that could be a thing. But I don't think McAllister looks fit at the moment. I'm thinking Szoboszlai goes back to his midfield partnership with Gravenberch for the game on Sunday. And I think Connor Bradley comes back into right back, because Connor Bradley for Northern Ireland against Germany, by the way, was
really good.
And I think, I keep saying it, I think Connor Bradley's Arnslot's number one right back.
He's really good. He's really good. Someone even said it before. What if Grav drops? It's like you get Mach and Sobo, don't you? If Grav drops, and that's fine as well. What you lose when you lose a player, you're going to gain in the player that steps into that role, like what we've seen with Sobo at right back. He's done at right back what Frimpong or Connor probably couldn't do. Like, let's be honest, Connor or Frimpong aren't banging in that free kick. Connor and Frimpong probably aren't putting in the legs as intensely as Sobo is throughout a game. That being said, they are more natural. Well, Frimpong's are just a great threat off the right-hand side, whereas Connor is just an out-and-out right back. And I like out-and-out right backs, and I like them in my team, and I like the way Connor plays. And I've always said if he can stay fit, I think he will start most games. The way I see it, though, is just currently that's Sobo's position to lose. Not that I think he won't lose it. Like, I think he will. I don't think he's going to be a right back now for his Liverpool career. But unless you do see a doubt in McAllister, then yeah, play Sobo in the midfield. If McAllister is a doubt, that being said, how do you drop him from right back? But then Connor puts in a performance like what he done the other day. You're going to see him train now. And then you just go, well, Connor's got to play. And then Jeremy as well. It's like, well, we need a goal. So now we just bring him on. It's a headache, but I just think we're going to see a bit of pep and just see a lot of different lineups. And
I do as well.
Where we're going to see Slot's brilliance is when he chooses these players. It's not going to be how many games does Connor play. It's who do you distribute those games against, and when does he play? Does he play the opening 70 minutes or does he play the final 30? When is going to be most important? Because I could see someone like Frimpong being a fucking fantastic option off the bench for the final 30 minutes, coming on and just being ragged around other teams. And we know he can get a goal. We know he can create a goal, so on. So for me, it will just be constant difference. And I welcome that because that's all we're facing. Do you know what I mean? So we need to have constant difference. And we've got a manager who relishes difference and changing it up. So I think it's just going to be what we're going to see under Arne Slot's tenure. Questionable first halves and dominant seconds. Do you know what I mean? That's basically what it's been so far. And I can foresee it being similar. You know what I mean?
So can I, man. So can I. And you're right in what you're saying. I think when Slot looks at the team, I think he looks at his players that are his spine. Your Allisons, your Virgils.
Yeah.
Your Gravenberches, your
That's
Salah.
the one that doesn't change much.
Yeah, your Salahs. They will play as much as humanly possible. Yeah. And now he believes he's probably got the players he can rotate with. And, you know, as you said, Frimpong, Bradley's, Szoboszlai's, McAllister's, Curtis Jones's, Isak's, Ekatike's. You got, look at the rotation there now.
Yeah.
It's better than it was last season. And I think last season he just weren't willing to trust the people coming in to rotate because he felt like I'm in a position where I didn't think I was going to be in at the beginning of the season where I could potentially win the Premier League title. I don't want to, there's no point in me doing anything. I just want to keep like this. Now, this season, he looks at the potential and goes, oh, the bench. I mean, we spoke about the bench. Everyone's been talking about the bench since the beginning of the season. Our bench could be mad this Sunday, by the way.
Yeah.
You could have, it could be Isak, Frimpong.
That was all because Isak hadn't signed yet, by the way. If Isak had already signed, our bench automatically looks well better.
The bench on Sunday could be, legitimately, could be Isak, Frimpong, McAllister, just them three alone straight away.
Already a joke, yeah.
You know, maybe a Rio, a Joe Gomez, a Marmadashvili.
And that's straight away, isn't it? You're always going to have one of the major players on the bench or absent, and then you're just going to have the guys who, whether it's Ekatike or Gakpo, who's going to be on the bench out of them two in the upcoming weeks against certain teams. You know, it's that option, isn't it? Like, I'm just sure if you find a way to get these players 40 appearances, they'll happily be at Liverpool with 40 appearances, even if some of them are off the bench. Do you know what I mean? And there is going to be injuries and there is going to be opportunities. This is just the way season goes. But we need to embrace the depth that we've got. And people saying that we haven't got as much depth as Arsenal. I swear people look at Arsenal's defence and just think that their whole team is just stacked from first to second. And I just don't know if that's the case. Do you know what I mean?
They got a lot of players and they got good players, yeah.
They do have good players.
I think we got more quality.
I agree. I think when it's going to matter, our quality will outshine theirs throughout the season. That's my opinion. Yeah. Even if we don't have as many numbers, we definitely have the quantity over it.
I'm taking Curtis Jones over Norgard. I don't care what anyone says. I just am. There's a reason Liverpool didn't want to buy Norgard in the market.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm taking Curtis. I think Curtis will win us a game more than Norgard will coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Or if he doesn't win us the game. Like, I know Curtis is one of the players in our team that everyone hates or loves, right? He's that Marmite footballer, right? Even as a personality, I think he's a bit like that in a way. But I've seen Curtis obviously come on and have stinkers, yeah. But I have seen him come on and improve the team, get a goal, get an assist, do something good, and get us over the line in games and that, and be heavily involved. I would rather have him coming off. He will win us and help us win more games of football off the bench than a Norgard will for Arsenal this season.
Billion %.
In my opinion.
Example, Arsenal game.
Yeah,
No.
he won. He won the free
You
kick.
keep going.
No, he won the free kick, didn't he?
There
Didn't
we
Curtis
go.
win the free kick?
There we go.
Because he was in attacking third. He was being on the front foot, looking
Yep.
to score, looking
Yep.
to create, and he
Yep.
won the free kick.
That's why I tweeted when he got subbed on. I said this will win us the game. I didn't think it was going to come in that way, but I said when Curtis Jones got subbed on, this will win us this match, and he did. He came on and made positive things happen. The same way I kind of had that feeling with Newcastle and Rio. Like I just felt Rio was designed for that game. Someone who's just he's got that arrogance, doesn't he, about himself? Like, nothing's happened to him yet in the sport. He kind of just rips it. All he's used to is terrorising professional footballers. And like all he's used to is the high praise of just terrorising professional footballers and people going, "Wow, you're good for your age." Like, get someone like that in against Newcastle. Don't bring on a Trent who's going to have all the times where he got rinsed by Gordon. Bring on the one who's not got that experience of getting rinsed by friggin' Kieran Trippier or someone. You know, go in there and think you're going to rip him. Do you know what I mean? And it's the exact same thing. It's the same thing for the entire squad as a whole. You just can't use those options.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Look, I know Arsenal fans and they like explaining. I don't know if people notice that, but
of course they do.
Squads are built differently by the way managers want to play football. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
And Arteta is more pragmatic as a coach than what Jurgen Klopp was and what Arne Slot is. So as a pragmatic coach, he likes to defend as a team differently to the way, a Liverpool want to defend as a team. So, Timber, played a lot of games at centre-back before joining Arsenal. Most of his games at Arsenal have been at fullback. You look at the guy from, what's his name? The guy from Brighton was a centre-back, is now a fullback. The Italian guy was a centre-back, is now a fullback. A lot of their fullbacks are centre-backs, so they made sure they've gone and got a plethora of good centre-back footballers that can rotate into full-back areas. Nketiah can play centre-back, left-back. They're not particularly, apart from Gabriel and probably Saliba, who are just centre-backs, their defenders are all a bit like Joe Gomez's, can play centre-back, can play full-back, very versatile in that area. Where Liverpool haven't gone down that route, they've gone for right-backs and left-backs and centre-backs. So they've built their defence up completely different. So if you look at so when people talk about Arsenal's defence and their depth in their defensive areas, they've got a lot of, and people say they've got like 8, 9 centre backs, is because a lot of them play right back and left back. Frimpong and Kirkes and Bradley and Andy Robinson can't play centre backs; they're full backs. So, and then Liverpool got 4 centre backs. I think people overlook it. I literally think people overlook this defensive, how many players you're meant to have in defensive areas, because Liverpool build different. They have attacking fullbacks that are actual fullbacks, not defenders that were centre backs can play there if needed. They got if Timber needs to play centre back tomorrow, he could play centre back tomorrow for Arsenal, no problem, or a lot of other football clubs. Ben White, if he needs to play centre back tomorrow, he can pick up that position and it won't look unnatural to him because that's where he played for a lot of his career before he went to Arsenal. So it's not me digging at Arsenal either. Arsenal have built up they build their squad differently to the way we build our squad because we play football differently. So squads are built different. But I think Liverpool, I don't know about you guys in the chat, watching enough Premier League games already this season. It's only been 3 games, but I think even after 3 games, you can get a pretty much, gist of how everything's lining up. I think Liverpool have the strongest 11 in the league at full strength. I think it's very hard to find, a stronger 11 than Liverpool's. I think Arsenal run as close. I think Man City run close as well. But Liverpool's quality in that 11 is extremely high. Addison's a better goalkeeper than everyone. Virgil's a better centre-back than everyone. You can argue Konate is the second better centre-back than everyone. Kirkes, let's not forget, Kirkes was the best left back in the country last season, and will be exceptional for us eventually. Right back, you got great right backs there in the midfield. You got Gravenberch, who I believe is apart from Casado, for me, the best EM in the country. Got McAllister, World Cup winner, technical baller in midfield, who for me is better than Zubamendi. You got Wirtz. I know people were talking about Wirtz, but let's not forget, if we go back to if we went back to June and July this summer, every fucking, and I mean everyone, rivals included, wanted Florian Wirtz and was sick as a dog when he went to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Mo Salah, he ain't started the season well, but he's still Mo Salah. And then you got Ekitike, you got Isaac. So I think Liverpool, if everyone put out their strongest 11 right now, I think Liverpool do have the strongest 11. I don't think there's a doubt about that.
Agreed.
And I think we play football the right way. What's the right way? I think playing football. I think playing football for me is to score goals and win football matches. That's what I've always. No one Did everyone play Wembley when you was a kid? Or freeing in or whatever it was called when you was a kid. Yeah. The idea of them games was to score goals, not sit back and defend them.
Yeah.
There was no games set up when you was a kid in the playground where you wanted to sit there and set up a defensive structure.
Yeah.
You wanted to show off, do step overs, do flicks and that, tricks, and score shitloads of goals.
That's why you practice shooting more than tackling, isn't it? When you were younger.
Exactly. So for me, the way Liverpool play is, the best way of playing football for me. So I don't know about you, James. I don't know how much you heard there, but I literally think the quality Liverpool got, the 11 they got, I think it's the best in England right now.
Agreed with you. Agreed. I think we're on course very quickly to become the best in Europe as well in terms of quality. I find it hard that I'm not going to be calling Isak the best 9 in 6 months' time. Do you know what I mean? I find it difficult at the thought of me not calling Bert the best 10 in the next 12 months. Maybe that doesn't happen. They don't need to be the best in their positions either for us to be successful. However, I foresee that being the case, and I just foresee domination. And for all the things you're saying, I think our principles are to win. Our principles are to, no matter what stadium we turn up to, we go there to win. Doesn't mean we're going to play well. It just means that at one moment we will look to end that game, and we usually do. I love the way that our football club is. I love the way that it's going. I love all the little sub projects we've got going on, like with the 20 million being put into the youth academy and whatnot, and then obviously everything else. And rest in peace to Charlie Kirk as well, of course. Everything in between, mate. It's tough. Proper. It's tough to think from where we was to where we are now, because it really feels like we are a Galactico type team. Not obviously reference to the show, episode 2 and all that, but it feels like we are the Galacticos of England, and I think a sign of that will be winning number 21 this season. I think that's the biggest statement that we could make. I think we will get more respect for winning the Prem than the champs in some ways. In some. Mainly because we already have the most champs, so nothing changes there. If you get the most Prems, that changes a lot of people's views, I think. Same way when it hits a lot of people, we have 20 leagues as well as United. I think if we have 21.
I'm desperate for that 21. If you could ask me what trophy I could pick to win this season and only win that one, it'd be the Premier League.
Same.
It'd be the Premier League, because there's nothing anyone can say then. Like Liverpool have 21 league titles, and then they've done the back-to-back as well, and all this stuff. And if you want to go, you've only won 3 Premier Leagues. We'll also have Arsenal in that time as well. So you've done everything that matched, or beat, and there's nothing else to say. And then the following season, you can go and try and win that Champions League if that's the one you want. And I just. It's what I want. I think it's what the team want as well. It's what the manager wants. It's what the players want. I think they're desperate. I think they're also very desperate to make sure this season is not wasted, because I think there's a lot of fight there for Diogo as well, because they feel like he would have been part of another successful Liverpool team this season as well. So I think they want to make sure it's successful for him as well, because obviously the love they got for him. And I think Liverpool go fight for everything. I actually think, I know we got Burnley Sunday, so I might be, I think we should beat Burnley on Sunday. It will be a difficult game. So games are difficult, but I think we'll have too much quality for them, and we should make that 4 out of 4. I think it's going. I think obviously Liverpool will lose games this season, but I think it's going to be extremely hard to beat us, because keeping us out, Arsenal are the best defensive unit as a team structured in the league, right? And we still beat them. I don't know how you keep us out. I really don't, Jay. How do you, if you're an opposition fan right now and you're looking at that Liverpool team and the way we play in the attack and the players we have we can pick out now, how do you stop? I just don't know. I really don't know. And that's why I think Opta has Liverpool favourites for the Champions League and the Premier League this season.
So do you know what I think we've got? I think we've got the perfect combo. I think we've got the perfect combo of individual brilliance and the best manager in the world. Not based on what he's achieved to this point in his career. I just think, when you get peaks of certain people, there's a peak Islam Makhachev right now. In 3 or 4 years, he would be beaten if he was still fighting. But right now, he's at his peak. And sometimes when Islam Makhachev... No, a better example would be Charles Oliveira. When Charles Oliveira was the best lightweight in the world and was for some time, right? Though he had deficiencies in his game, so on and so forth. I think at the moment in this time, while Pep Guardiola, showing deficiencies and other managers and whatnot, I just think we've got the most hungry, desperate, football mad, tactical mad, reading the game, reading the momentum of the game. I think Slot breathes and scrans football every second of his waking day. I can't emphasize it much more than that. I know I probably sound like I'm waffling, but I truly think that's the way Arne Slot sees football, and that's why he wins us a lot of games off the bench. And that's just them two things combined. We don't have to play well in every game this season the same way. I don't think PSG were particularly great at Anfield against us.
No.
But they won. Do you know what I mean? They found a way to win. Once it got to the penalties, they knew they were going to win. I just think now that we've got that quality, them weapons, as Arne Slotters like to say, that artillery, I think now we're going to start to see something similar. I think Slot's going to be more confident in the options he's got, because we saw, Harvey Elliott, barely any minutes despite overplaying players. K-Set, barely any minutes despite overplaying players. We're not going to have that issue this season. When Slot wants someone rested, he's going to be able to do it, because the number 2 is going to be a very fine, healthy alternative.
Well, look at how many minutes Chiesa's already played this season compared to last.
Spot on.
So Chiesa's got to get more game time. Liverpool didn't want to let him go. He stayed. I think Rio will get game time as well, more than I might have thought originally. But they're going to protect him, obviously, because he's a youngster, obviously. But he's there. He's part of the Champions League squad. The guy's going to play. You got that depth now in quality that he wanted, and it's the Dutch way, ain't it? It's that total football way. It's quite mad at times. Sometimes it don't make sense, but it's about scoring goals. It's how many weapons you can get on the pitch to score 3 or 4 goals. That is what they want. And if you let one in at the back sometimes, okay. If you're scoring 3 or 4. And I know a lot of people talk about, Arsenal and their defending, and their defending is great. It's the best in the league. I ain't going to think about that. But I think too many people, I think 2025, we're coming away from teams that can be successful, like a pragmatic side. I don't think pragmatic sides win big trophies anymore. I think you've got to be a risk-averse, attack-minded side to win big trophies in today's football, because you look at all the big teams in Europe, they've all got gunmen. You look at Barcelona, you look at PSG, you look at Liverpool, you look at Real Madrid, you look at Bayern Munich. What are they all powerful with? Big front lines, goal scorers. And I think that's the way football's going now. I think football is now going to more of that goals, attack, score. And it used to be the old saying, a good attack gets you challenging, but what is it? Having the best defense wins your titles. I think now it's the opposite. I think a good defence gets you challenging, and a world-class attack wins you titles. I think it's changed, and Liverpool's defence is good. That's not a, this is myth that Liverpool can't defend and all that. Liverpool can. They got a good defence, man.
Yeah.
And Liverpool's defence is going to be good enough to get them challenging, and their attack is superior to make them win things.
Agreed with you, mate. Agreed with you.
Before we end the show, James, anything you want to bring out? Anything you want to say on any subject?
I suppose one thing, just because someone mentioned it in the comments before about Wirtz and his free kick against Germany. I don't know if we've really touched on it, but
No, I've only saw it today.
Not even to go into it too deeply, but I think that was perfect. I think a lot of the international break was perfect. So Isak coming on for Sweden looking like their best player, pretty much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, looking sharp. That's all I needed to see from Isak. It wasn't goals. It wasn't a hat-trick. I needed sharpness. Then you look at Wirtz getting the free kick, Conor Bradley with the performance he put in. This is what I want to see. Do you know what I mean? Like, with some of these lads who haven't had as many games, even McAllister getting 90 minutes in a country that's fucking whatever when it comes to breathing in oxygen. Good. Like, I need you to get minutes, because I feel McAllister's issue at the moment is sharpness, fitness. Same with a lot of other players. We've had a mad summer. This is something people forget. And not just a mad summer with Jota, obviously, rest his soul, but also the external things, like people have had babies, and Gravenberch had a 3-match, ban at the start of the season, and now that that's all out the way, good and done, we've got all the key things in place. Do you know what I mean? I think now we're going to start to see the true gelling of everything, and Wirtz in particular done the celebration, got that in the bag, came out after the game and just said that was just a reminder to everyone. And what that shows, what I like about Wirtz, it's like all the noise just goes boing, boing, boing. It doesn't go in. It just bounces off. And that's my most admirable quality about Wirtz, is that the noise won't get to him about his price tag or anything, because that would have been my only concern with Wirtz. Is he looks like he's got a good mentality, but I just haven't seen it, you know what I mean? Like, enough to say, like, can he take the mentality of getting slated at Liverpool? And it looks like he can. Like, he walks around like he's the best fucking player in the world, and I love it when a player's like that.
Even this season so far, when he doesn't look like he's performing that well, he's still moving around like
language. Yeah.
And do you think, like, strangely, the international break has actually helped us this time around, not hindered us? Because it's given players a few minutes here and there where they haven't had anything so far. It's given some other players just to freshen up, get a bit more fitness, like McAllister getting 90 minutes under his belt.
Do you know what's different as well, Jay? And sorry to interrupt, I just don't want to forget it. What's different on what you're saying there is usually into an international break, we're doing really well. Not just winning, because we're doing really well in that way at the moment, but I mean performance. Like, we're performing really well. And it's like the international break comes and disrupts it. International break comes and we get injuries. Do you know what I mean? From what I understand, we haven't had any major injuries during international break. We were in quite a vulnerable position before the international break took place as well. We still had no Isak. We still had players who weren't fully fit. As you say, now that these players have been able to get some minutes, and, like, that was Isak's pre-season, weren't it? Crap one. It was a short one, but it was a pre-season nonetheless. He still played some minutes before getting into Premier League football, and I think anyone would agree that's most ideal.
Yeah.
As Emil Heskey says there, get the ball rolling. Do you know what I mean? Big Emil saying it how it is. I just think that's what we're doing. I just think, like, we are, maybe for once, instead of good momentum getting disrupted, it's actually quite poor momentum based on performances. Because out of all the games, I can only think of like 2 halves of football where we were like secure and not as vulnerable as usual, whereas the rest of it was just basketball or us on the back foot. I think now we're going to see a lot better because we haven't been optimal performance and we've got the full squad.
Because there's a lot of players in, like Salah's already mentioned it, he said his performance at the moment are obviously down to him, but also he's got new attackers that he's got to learn how they play, and we got midfielders that are learning the way the new attackers move, and and things like that, and fullbacks like Frimpong and Kirkes are, the way they move and play is different to what they've been used to for the last few years. So changes like that in your first team, it takes them it takes a little bit of time. But the fact Liverpool, This is what I like. This is what I keep saying about Liverpool's quality. Why they're doing all that? They've won 3 out of 3. And by the way, they weren't 3 easy games either. Do you know what I mean? I think that's gone under the radar.
We were the least. I would say we were the least settled team with all the speculation around us.
And we're 9 points, the only team in the league, and it was Bournemouth, Newcastle, Arsenal,
and now we've got Isak.
And that's why I think rivals. That's why rivals are like, nah, what's this?
Do you know what's even more scarier though? Wirtz hasn't been informed and Salah hasn't been informed. So though we've still had them, we've won in spite of them. What are we gonna do when they start kicking into gear? Because I only need one of Isak, Salah, or Wirtz to be informing a game, and we'll probably win. Only one of them needs to be informed.
The mad thing though, there is going to be a point this season when all of them are informed at the same game.
When that happens, it is going to be like not to try and make it a bit mad, but like a huge ejaculation.
It's going to be mad because Wirtz is going to do like Wirtz, Salah, and like Isak, and maybe like a Nekatike or something like that, or all going to be in the same headspace for one game at least this season. And when that happens, wow.
Yeah, no, it's going to be bad. And you know what? I'd love that to be Burnley because I've got a bit more of a skepticism against Burnley than most other people. I think a lot of people think we're going to walk through them, beat them 4-5-0. I don't believe that. I think it's going to be a bit more of a tougher game than what we anticipate. But a win.
Just get
me another win. Get me 12 points on the board.
Give me 38 ugly wins, man. Because I'm here, man. If we win 38 times, if we win like 30 games this season and all 30 of them are like shit ugly wins, at the end of the day,
I'm still going to call us the greatest team
of
all time.
Man, and rivals going to be like hating. Big up there, Diogo. Yeah, look, and that's why I mean about our quality. I think we got a mindset in our team as well. They're all winners, and this is the thing Liverpool got. People like Salah and Virgil and Alisson, Curtis Jones. I know people don't. Now I probably spoke about Curtis Jones quite a bit in this show, but Curtis Jones has won league titles and been around trophies. You know, he's been around 2 league titles. He's got 2 league title medals. He was around the European Cups at the section. They didn't play. He was around it. He was around the domestic trophies. He knows and he smells it. He knows it. He feels it. So you got winners all over them, and then you got your Salahs, your Virgils.
And I think Wirtz elevates someone like Curtis. You know, I think Curtis.
There's been a couple of times already this season when them two are on the pitch together, and it seems to link up nicely because I think Curtis playing allows Wirtz to push higher up the pitch where he wants to be.
Curtis already has a no for what Wirtz wants, and vice versa. They already have a read for each other. The thing that we didn't see against Arsenal was McAllister pick up that same read with Wirtz yet. He hadn't quite locked it. Curtis has had that every time he's played next to Wirtz, and that's something that I've loved. And I just think, I've always thought Curtis Jones, and it sounds mad what I'm about to say, he would thrive more in a Barcelona. He would look like one of the best midfielders in the world at a Barcelona. He would, with the way that he plays. And I think Wirtz caters more towards that. And I think when you've got 2 players of that quality, because they're both great ability players, playing on the same level field, I think they get the best out of each other. So don't be surprised. And you know what I'll say? I'm going to do a monologue for Curtis Jones before we wrap this up because he deserves it for me. I know he's been a bit hit and miss, but he's been hit and miss in a career where he can afford to be in a way. He's never been called upon to be the major guy in the front three. Oh, sorry, in the main 3 midfield. And when he has been called upon, he's done job most times, though he does have his frustration part of the game. Now, the frustrating part of his game has come in the years of 18 to 23. He's now 24, and that's when I start to see players become truly, like, refined players. And while he has had 1 full season of consistent football in his belt, now when he gets another one in, I think Curtis Jones can stir some shit up when it comes to who we select in that midfield. I'm not saying he's definitively going to get himself a regular starting spot above the likes of McAllister or Grav. But am I saying there's no chance? I think there's a chance.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance he can break into the team, though it sounds a bit crazy.
I think there's a chance he plays Sunday against Burnley. Because if he does kick the balls like right back, he might go Curtis, McCurtis, Grav and Wirtz in the middle. Because I think as well with McAllister, he learned it from the Nottingham Forest game that we lost when he brought, after national duty, he put all the South Americans back in the first 11, didn't they? And they were the ones who came back the latest, so they were more tired.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if McAllister's not playing against Burnley, because I don't think McAllister's 100% fit anyway.
I'm all right with that, though. I think McAllister's going to need to be eased into this season.
Same. He had hernia, didn't he, in pre-season? Didn't play a lot. He's played a lot of football as well.
I think there's a few external issues. Maximise the quality.
He's got niggles, ain't he? He's got little niggles here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, on his day, he's one of the best midfielders in the world, let alone the Prem. So we do need him, but we can survive without him, I think, especially with the form that Sobbo's in. And it kind of works. I feel like football works in this weird way where you need perfect things to happen. And it's almost like, as McAllister's got his downfall, Szoboszlai is, you could argue, like at the peak of his Liverpool career at the moment, based on momentum. You know, he's just won a league. He's been the best player so far this season based on impact in a lot of people's eyes. While McAllister's unavailable, maximise that spot. Now that Frimpong's, and even like the way Frimpong's been out injured while we've been testing the McAllister Gravenberch theory, realised they're not fit enough. It's like Frimpong was out, so Sobbo had to play right back, meaning he can get the momentum he's got behind him at the moment. Now McAllister's out, he can slot in there as Frimpong gets back. And Conor Bradley's just found form, so now you've got a headache between Conor and Frimpong. It's just, you need a perfect storm sometimes, and I think we've got that. Even the way we didn't have Isak and Ekitike was still scoring in the meantime. It really feels like one of them seasons where, like, it's just going to go in our favour. You know, no matter the circumstance, we'll have a solution. That's the way I think.
I agree. But yeah, David is super. He says, I don't think Slot trusted the bench last season. Yeah.
He did in a lot of ways, because we had Gakpo, Diaz, Nunes.
He trusted the first teamers that were maybe on the bench. He trusted, but under that, is what I think he got to a position. I think Slot came to Liverpool, didn't expect to win the league last season. When we got to about, I think when we got to about, I don't know, November-ish, I think he was looking at it and thinking, "Shit, we are running away with this," and. Yeah. Because he's new, I think he just wanted to keep it as it was. And that's why he came in for a little bit of criticism when we didn't rotate against Southampton after the heavy PSG game and stuff like that, because he felt like I just needed to I churned everything out of him just to get it over the line, where this season he won't make that mistake, in my opinion, because he's got the quality.
If we were winning games 3 or 4-0 last season in the 70th minute, we'd have saw a lot more rotation because the games were fine margins. And even though we weren't expected to win the league, Slot wanted to. Slot wanted to come in and win the league straight away. He felt he could. And you could see by the way he managed those games last season, keeping on his best players all the way till the end. It's like, I would rather a tired Mo Salah at 60% than that version of Chiesa last season at whatever percent he was coming on for the final 20 minutes. A fresh Chiesa for 20 minutes is still worse in Slot's brain than Salah at 70% for that final 20 after playing 70. So, and I like the way he thought there, and I love the way he's complemented that this year, because now when you do see one of those players drop off in the front line, you've got adequate backups. You've got no real excuse. Like, have I seen no minutes for Frimpong this season? I don't get that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that makes no sense to me, because you brought him in to be a weapon.
You brought him in about how much he likes him as well,
the quality that bridges between him and Salah is probably smaller. Also, the style they play is probably less different than what Harvey Elliott was for Salah. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And so I'm expecting to see a lot more rotation this season. We've already
I think Frimpong would have come on for Salah if he weren't injured this season already in that right wing position. I think look, Stott's mentioned it already. He sees Frimpong as a right winger when Salah's not about. So, and that's what he saw Harvey Elliott in, but he didn't think Harvey Elliott could have done the job that he knows Frimpong can do. So, yeah, Frimpong will be used loads. And yeah, I got no. I mean, there's a potential that on the bench he could bring on 4 players of Frimpong, Isak, Rio, and Chiesa if he wanted to against Burnley. He didn't have that last summer. Now he does. So. Yeah, man, I'm happy, man. I'm happy. We all are. I can't wait for Sunday. I can't wait for the weekend, man. Football is nearly upon us again, guys. It is Thursday now because it's midnight. So it is Thursday. It is Thursday, guys. Guys,
Lads, I'm not going to lie. Before we wrap up this show, Reggie's my Yorkie Terrier, by the way.
Yeah.
He's sleeping on my leg right now, right? And he's sleeping on his
he's
back.
like
And he's just let off one of the
Dog farts,
the quietest farts. He's just let out one of the quietest farts. And it fucking
dog farts are
stinks
rank.
like no tomorrow. My nose has just been absolutely abused by what has come out this little
There's
fucker's
nothing
ass. Do
worse.
you know what? He's asleep, but I'm showing you them, right? This tiny little 11-month-old Yorkie has just caused destruction in my room, right? He's fuming because I've woke him up. But I just thought I'd let you know because my face just absolutely squirmed at the smell of that, and I just felt I had to give you a second-hand experience of what I was.
I had a Yorkie. I had a Yorkie years and years ago, man. Yeah.
Did you?
Girl, Tammy.
Tammy. So I had one prior to Reggie. He's only 11 months, as I said. This is Ruby.
Oh, I remember you, Ruby. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So Ruby, she was boss lad. She could sing and all that. Like she could do
Is she
like
a short third
stuff.
Was she a short third Yorkie?
So no, she actually had long fur, but my mum was just on top of her fur because it would get tangled and stuff like that. So we always made sure. Yeah, very long. So that's why his hair's short. He hasn't really got that long in his lifetime because he's always getting cuts and stuff.
AI dog. It's mad.
It's an AI dog. That fart was as AI as you could get. Like if you asked ChatGPT, put up the fucking smelliest smell that you can put out of a dog's ass, it was that. That was disgusting.
Love it, man. Love it. But guys, we're going to wrap up there. That was episode 2. That was episode 2 of the Red Galacticos, guys. Don't forget.
That was a banger show, to be fair. That was a banger. I felt
loads to talk about always with me and James, man.
And you get it every Wednesday.
Guys, exactly. Don't forget, guys, Match Bingo is sponsoring the channel. If you want to go and check it out, it helps out the channel. So I'd appreciate that. You can QR code on the screen or the link is in the description if you want to check that out. Don't forget to subscribe and share, and James's link is in the description as well. So make sure you go and check James out if you've not done that already. Why have you done that? It's crazy to me. Go and check that out. He's put out a few videos the last few days as well that I looked at as well. So go and check them out if you've not done it.
Come back from the ATL like I never
left. Guys, you've been fantastic. We appreciate it. The football is almost back upon us. Only a couple more days left and we're back to it. Mickey, that's mad, man. Jamie Phillips doggy chats. Guys, much love. Appreciate you all being here every single time. You guys, this wouldn't work without you. So big up to everyone. Thank you.